Hello and welcome to Kaiserreich. With this being the first episode in a series, I do have to go through a couple of things. My name is Freda, or it's my name on YouTube. I have a degree in history, I'm working towards a second one. I love Hoi4, but I mostly love this universe, Kaiserreich, in which World War I was won by Germany. I'm going to turn down the music a little bit. We're going to get back to Slider Freda from like 2019. This universe, quick rundown. Germany won World War I. Germany now has a massive colonial empire and is in a much stronger position than it was in World War II. However, I say much stronger position. A lot of the economy of the world sort of flows through the German Empire, and any sort of economic shock will hit the German Empire especially hard. The countries which lost the war have had revolutions, generally speaking. One of them, that lost the war, had its royal family flee to Canada during a revolution. The revolution to which we are the heirs of. We are Philip Snowden, who is the mild-mannered Viscount, almost shouldn't have been the chairman of the British Trade Union Congress, yet somehow he is, and is well liked by the factions of what is a viciously factional body. Snowden's victory is largely credited to his decision to avoid the fractional politics of the Trade Union Congress and how he showed himself to be an unaligned and neutral candidate, free of partiality. Since his assuming of the title chairman, Snowden has seen old faces go and new faces come into the TUC, and he has always remained a symbol of British post-revolutionary unity. Always calming factional tensions whenever they come and seeking to maintain a balance between all four factions, which is perhaps why he unopposed Mosely's bid for oh my god, English is my second language, I'm Norwegian. Exchequer? In my head, I feel like I know how to pronounce this, but the former liberal turned syndicalist is perhaps the most formal figure in these strange times, always staying above and refusing to occupy his time with petty insults. Okay, well, we are locked into focus, the Trade Union Congress, or the Congress of the Trade Unions, which is good. I don't like it when the game is like, hey, you can only pick one focus, but we're not going to push you down it. This is going to choose or decide our politics. This country can go in many different ways. And one of the, well, I've sort of decided which way we're going to go, but I'm not going to fully reveal that, I think, immediately. I'm going to, because there's going to be some twists and turns, and it's going to be a rocky road. Let's go through the normal stuff that you always do when you play this game. Anything else that we need for snowballing? We'll need oil at some point, because we do have a fairly sizable navy, even though I believe the Canadians stole most of our navy after the revolution. I love how there are unique icons for all of these planes and stuff. It's so good. Hurricane, Spitfire, the Spiteful, the Tempest. Spiteful I don't think is a real plane. It might be, but I might just be wrong. The Vampire, the Havayard Vampire, which we have one of these in the Norwegian Air Force. I saw it actually a couple of years ago. I think I have videos of it on my Twitter. Venom, the Star. I don't know if the Star is real either. Star looks like a Eurofighter or something. No, it's not a Eurofighter. That's not at all a Eurofighter. I don't know. Courageous. Oh, it's so good. Look at the back there. Whirlwind. These are real, I believe. At least the Whirlwind is, I think. Though the Mosquito is real, but I don't think these are real, because I think they were called something else. Firebrand. Skua, the Baffin. Hind. Can't do a Metal Gear Solid Snake voice, but okay. So anything else we need? I think Navy is actually something we should focus a bit more on, even though I usually don't do it, because the Kriegsmarine is the German, Navy is actually insanely strong. But of course, they still, I believe, they will potentially have the same problems that we have in terms of oil. Because this stuff is where the oil is, but right now I believe they have some sort of deal with the Germans. I'm looking for spirits. Treaty of Poti, which allows that's Georgian trade deal. But isn't it Azerbaijan that has the Baku oil fields? Yeah, they don't have a deal with them. But that's where they're gonna have to get their oil, I think. So, let's see. First things first, we finish our research, and then we look at our spirits and all that. I'm looking for stuff that gets close to production so that we can start pumping out production. I do kind of want to get the tanks early on so we can keep them pumping out. But I think planes are going to be the most important. The thing is, I don't want to start researching the planes until we have enough political power to choose a design company. Which is why I'm trying to find anything else I can do with my time here. Land Doctrine, I mean, then we have to decide on Land Doctrine, and I kind of like leaving that up to the Commons, because the Commons can be annoying, but they're also usually very helpful, which is why I read all of them. Marines will be a necessity, like, we're gonna need those eventually anyhow. You know what, let's just do this. We're gonna need it at some point. I didn't see anything that can help us snowball. So this game is all about logistics and stuff, and logistics builds itself up over time, which is why I researched the construction and stuff first, because as you construct civilian factories, you get more civilian factories with which to construct civilian factories. So the more you do everything, the more you do everything, which is why the late game of this game gets kind of insane, which is why the game isn't super good after, like, a certain year. So we have a bunch of uniquely named divisions. That's really cool. We need to make sure we have divisions in basic training, but before we do that, let's have a look at our ideas and everything. Well, we only have one. Militias. The British military is still largely organized in the impromptu workers' militias of 1925. While these local militias have high morale, they seem disregardful for some of the finer concepts of warfare, such as the need for working logistics. Due to their deafening cries of break the chains, our officers routinely suffer from psychological breakdowns. Well, so militia, like, organizing military into militias like this, workers' militias, where I assume they are voted, like they voted in their officers, is something that is actually possible and has been done. It was done in the Spanish Civil War, though there's debate over whether or not it was successful. I believe some of the consensus, I think, depends on your political leanings as well, because the Spanish Civil War, if you're looking at the Republican side has a bunch of factions which fought together, but historically have not really liked each other all that much. Like, for example, the anarchists and the communists, who have some historical beef. But the yeah, like that can work in theory. I believe, like, some of the consensus is that the sort of impromptu democratic, I guess, military organization that happened on the Republican side to a certain degree wasn't ineffective because it was democratic. It was ineffective because it was impromptu, and it just sort of spawned in the midst of a civil war. Like, it basically suffered the same sort of issues that every single new military organization has. Well, we have 3 dockyards. Let's just pump up the usage on all of these, which means that once one finishes, those dockyards will go over to the next one, and to the next one, and to the next one. Because these are not like, there's a definite number of ships on each production line before they finish producing. We are producing outdated equipment. What outdated equipment? I'm guessing, yeah, it's the ships. The Measureless class. Those are really cool names. Bondfield class, Republic class. I like these names. Yeah, we're not producing anything here. I don't really know, let's see. We haven't let the clock tick, so I don't actually know if the logistics is calibrated. I'm gonna let the clock tick for just an hour. Oh yeah, we aren't training it either way, so I won't even know if the logistics is properly set up. Let's start training some infantry divisions. They are actually quite good. I like these. 18 width, we could get them up to 20 width. Now I wonder, is artillery still? No, artillery on this would not be good. You would need, yeah, it goes up to 19. Yeah, it's probably just an extra infantry then, which we don't really have the military experience for. So we're just going to train these, and then we're going to see how much can we keep training. I'm going to start with 2 simultaneous lines, and then we're going to organize our military. Music has gotten really intense, even though we're not doing much. Oh, nice, we already have Marines. We already have Cavalry. We have the People's Hussars, which are tanks, and... Okay, let's see. Are all of these the same? Yes, they're all infantry divisions. Very good. Who will lead our army? Well, with the logistical situation being dreadful, David Sterling seems like he would be an apt choice. But I think by the time we actually get into war, oh, Russian exile, Ivan Konev, a military leader, forced to flee Russia after the failure of its revolution. Their loyalty to the socialist ideals led them to serve the Internationale, perhaps hoping for the slightest chance of seeing a Red Russia arise. I'm guessing this guy leaves the moment another revolution breaks out in Russia, if it does. Just having a look. Yeah, we have a bunch of these guys. I'm looking to see if we can't find any, any good traits. I think this guy's still going to be the best then. Thomas Wintringham. Any info on him? Nope. Percy Hobart will probably lead our tanks. No, Raymond Briggs will. No, he's an infantry officer, so he can be a... Wait, armor speed and... Okay, natural with tanks and mechanized. Does armor actually do mechanized? I thought there was one specifically that did mechanized. Yeah, exactly. Combined arms. So this guy could be a combined arms guy if we actually get a bigger, like a big, modernized military like that. Because I believe infantry officer experience factor lets him pick a bunch of these things that are added to basically everything. I don't know if mechanized counts as infantry. I would imagine they don't. Maybe not. Maybe he's just good as like a switcheroo that we can switch around. But I'm going to put Percy Hobart on the tanks, I believe. And David Sterling, well, good, does not match Thomas Wintringham. So Thomas Wintringham, who is politically connected, which is annoying, because it means reassignment is long, but I won't be doing that much reassignment, I don't think. Cavalry, and then we have the People's Hussars and the Marines. So the People's Hussars... yeah, armor divisions. So the People's Hussars is just the name of this division. We can actually, I think we're going to name all the divisions, or like all the tank divisions. I won't be able to name all the infantry divisions, but I'll try to name all the tank divisions. We'll name ships, we'll name, armies and all that. And I'll take some hints, some cues from the YouTube comments. So this is the Union militias for now, until we reorganize them. Oh, that is cool. We have some nice icons here. I like that. First Army, Second Army. I don't like the crosses because I don't think really our side would be using them. Yeah, we don't need that many armies. 10th Army, 14th Army. Yeah, we won't have that many, but I'll just use the First Army one for now. Which I guess will make it white because the background is white. Actually, no, hold on. Let's use, no, Scottish Command. Yeah. We'll, if we divide the army up, we can use those. In fact, we probably should divide the army up, even though it's small. But for now, let's keep it as is. Cavalry, do we have a cavalry guy? We have panzer leaders. We have winter specialists, the Russians. That makes sense. No cavalry leaders. Well, reconnaissance up is good, because that's one of the good things about cavalry, I believe. I'm not mistaking this for Victoria 2 right now. Let's get him for now. The Marines, well, let's have a look. Our likely enemies are going to be the Germans, and Wilhelmshaven is probably going to be one of the more likely landing points, depending on how the war goes. It could be stuff like The Hague, but we can choose to land somewhere where there isn't both a city and a port, because that makes it harder for us to actually take it. This guy would be a great marine leader if we were going for a city, but I don't think we will be. This guy could be something like a paratrooper leader or something like that. If we decide to go with that. I think David Sterling might be our Marine Corps commander. And then Percy Hobart. I'll look these people up, and like before next episode, and maybe see if like they have some sort of historical, like real places where they belong, so to say. So insufficient resources, we don't have enough rubber for our planes, and we don't have enough chromium for our ships, I believe. So we'll buy that for now, because the ship production will end. And we will need those planes. Let's have a look at the Navy. Oh my god, it's huge. Oh, I love this, a submarine fleet. We're going to split this in 4, I think. Into different submarine squadrons. We can upgrade the ships. Let's see, Pre-Weltkrieg, and these are also Pre-Weltkrieg, aren't they? L-type. H-type. Wait. Oh yeah, L-type are the, I'm guessing, the more modern ones, and the H-types aren't. Oh, okay, so they do alphabetical naming. No. Because R would come... So L would come after M, so why are they... I'm so confused. What's the difference between these guys? So the M3 here, design, it's got no torpedo tubes, which is worrisome. And this guy has... Oh, no, sorry, they did have torpedo tubes. Torpedo tubes 2 on the L-type. And the M-type had torpedo tubes 1. Gotcha, okay, yeah, so they're just... Some of them are better. We should actually just... we should upgrade them all. I don't know how much it's gonna cost. Nothing. Huh. Well, it's just some work, I guess. Their naval base will be locked there until process is complete. This will take up to 4 days to complete. Can I do multiple? Yes, I can. Yeah, we'll start or keep refitting a bunch of those, and we'll be swapping these around and stuff. But first, we need to choose our. Oh, hold on! I forgot something. Something vitally important. We have to put these guys under a unified command. I'll read this in a moment. Actually, I'll read this now. After the defeat of France and the United Kingdom's war with Germany dragged on inconclusively for 2 years, in 1921, the stalemate was finally broken when Lloyd George agreed to the German proposal of a peace with honor. While Britain's overseas territories remained largely intact, the faith of the people did not. In 1925, disaster struck. A minor labour dispute in the coalfields of South Wales quickly escalated, and after 6 weeks of rioting, looting, and pamphleteering, most of the establishment, including the royal family, had fled to Canada. A provisional government of revolutionary groups dissolved what little was left of Parliament and declared a new Union of Britain. 11 years later, the Trade Union Congress still forms the centrepiece of politics of the Federated and Democratic Union. The British people are secure on the island, having built up a socialist dream, protected by the strong Republican Air Force and Navy, and with each country protected by its own popular militia county, a popular militia who act both as a reserve military and the new police. Yet, with the world seemingly ready to erupt into chaos and its continental allies clamoring for war, many are starting to wonder if Britain has a duty to spread the revolution to her former colonial territories. After all, the monarchists in Canada cannot be allowed to plot against the Union forever. Fascinating. Let's see, Jack Marshall, Field Marshal, Jack Jones, Artillery Officer, I love that. War Hero, Defensive Doctrine, I love that. This guy, though, he has nothing. Well, he has Brilliant Strategist, which I also love, and this guy's attack is garbage. Okay, so I'm sensing a pattern here. Jack Jones, you will be the Field Marshal for the Line Army that will hold the line, and Fred Copeman will be the Field Officer or Field Marshal for the armies that will be pushing. So for now, our organization looks like something like something like this. I'm not even gonna worry about this guy because I feel like he's gonna fuck off to Russia at some point. So this is what our organization looks like as of now, I believe. I really wish we could use those other icons, like the Scottish or the Northern and Western Command and all that. Let's call this army group A for now, and then army group B. sounds like a very German way of organizing things. You will be... No, you will be blue, I think. No, 'cause that guy is probably going to be blue. This guy was white. This guy will be... Well, it can just be a different shade of blue, I guess. Army Group B. Icon for the cavalry will probably be something like these. I like that for like special forces kind of stuff. I'm gonna choose green for you, I think. And for the tanks, I like some of these symbols. I'm not sure which one I prefer though. I think not this, because this might be mechanized. Let's go with this. Let's make it white, just to make it easy, easy on the eyes here. Actually, no, then they do not stand out against... Let's make them pink or purple or something, to make them stand out against the other militaries or armies. These guys can remain orange, I think. So I want to make them a little bit more vibrant. And these are Marines, which easy. Republican Marines. We have the Republican Marines, then we have the Republican Armored Corps, and then we have the Republican Cavalry. Republican Cavalry. And boss, we have been on the 1st of January for 21 minutes. Awesome, this is what every single first playthrough of this, or first episode of this ends up as for me. Assassination of President Korenski. Oh no, who could have seen this coming? It's a joke because he gets assassinated every game. Every time. Okay. Political instability in Russia is... okay, Kornilov storms Moscow. Taking advantage of the chaos in Moscow after the assassination of Kerensky, Kornilov and his officers, with the help of combat squads from Boris Savinkov's NRPR, oh no, took to the streets of Moscow to fight off leftist organizations and trade unionists. After hours of bloody street fighting, Kornilov took full control of Moscow and was sworn in as Supreme Commander-in-Chief and President of Russia. Alright. Boris Savinkov, National Populists, very scary man. Comrade Mosely calls a meeting. Comrade Mosely of the Maximist faction has invited Georges Valois, leader of the French Sorelians. Okay, he's also kind of a scary figure. Inspired a lot of modern fascism. Or, you know, actual fascism. The Swiss revolutionary George... Oh, and by the way, Comrade Mosely was straight up a fascist, a leader of the British Union of Fascists. Once a Labour politician, and then very smitten with what he saw in Italy and I suppose Germany. George Ultramare and that, or I don't know how to pronounce that. He's Swiss. He might be French. It might be German. Sounds French though. And the Italian national syndicalist Benito Mussolini to Birmingham to compile a manifesto stating their joint aims for a new kind of socialism called totalism. Chairman Snowden's Federationists should keep an eye on this development. Yeah. Mussolini, of course, leader of fascist Italy. Il Duce. The 1936 Trade Union... Council, Trade Union Council begins, okay? Should say Congress, right? The Totalist Charter, Mussolini, Valois, Ultramare, and other interested parties arrived in Birmingham today to discuss their common ground. It has been agreed that Maximism, Sorelianism, and National Syndicalism all share basic principles of the state's primacy in the socialist struggle. The role of national identity within the state and the importance of strong central authority to preserve and build socialism. The Charter also claims the socialist state as the final stage of human development, and that democracy is not necessary to achieve socialism. These statements have drawn great criticisms from other socialist factions who give it the name totalism as a play on totalitarian socialism, which has been eagerly accepted by Mosely, who added it to the manifesto's name, attributing it to their total commitment to socialism. Yeah, so definitionally, by most modern definitions of socialism, one cannot have socialism without democracy. But that's also, you know, you have the whole like National Socialism and socialism thing from our timeline, where people get those confused as well. Edward VIII crowned as King of Great Britain. George V has died, and now Edward has been crowned king. Edward, of course, kind of a scumbag in history. You should look up those nice pictures of him from his vacation in Germany. Yeah, nothing more to say on that. Economic policy vote. The debate has wandered into the area of economics, as has been predicted. Every faction has put forward their own suggestions. Most people assume that the Maximists will win this debate, since Oswald Mosley is a major figure in the British economy these days. So I am going now to reveal that I'm going to push towards the Maximist faction, with Oswald Mosley as the leader of the country. Just trust me. I will guide us with a firm hand towards true British socialism. I know a lot of people play Mosley, I think, but we're gonna... You'll see. It's gonna be fun. Let's see. So, the Maximists want the economy to be expanded, centralized and streamlined. The Federationists slash Congregationist wing want the economy to be expanded and centralized, and the radical ones, the autonomists, who I believe are like anarchists, sort of, they want greater economic autonomy given to the home nations. Yeah, sounds anarchisty. I don't actually know. Let's have a look. Before we choose one, let's have a look, because we can mix these up, I think. Can't we? Oh, never mind. So this is... Where is the economic stuff? One of the following must be true: Maximist or Federationist economy. Yeah, we have to have a look at this. So, if we go Maximist economy, then we can go centralized industry, which gives factory output 5% and a 75% research bonus for industry. Or we can go local collectives, which gives construction speed. I like this better, I think, because so early on in the game you can get a bunch of factories, but we can later here go to militarized industry, which is really good, which gives construction speed. This is the local help initiative, which is also pretty good, but it's not as cool as this, because it's further factory output. And then production efficiency gap 10%, factory output at further 5%. Or is that not further 5%? Is it just the same 5%, but it changes to something else? Dunno. We'll find out. That's really cool, but research speed isn't, like, I don't know, I feel like I'd rather have modifiers that are with me through the entire game, because at some point you're gonna run out of research. I like the Maximist economic policy here right now. We will want to pick and choose on some of these, which is why I want to get some Maximists, because I want to get the Maximists in power. I want to get some Maximist policies early on, in case I find some policies that I prefer. Like, here's the vote for officers, right? One of the central achievements of syndicalism is the end of tyrannical rule of the officers in our armed forces. That's what I was talking about earlier. That's not a thing we can do if we go, like, that's not a good thing, or that's not a thing for Maximist militaries. I wonder actually what happens if, I have some questions I don't want to voice. Oh, the 5th Anglo-Afghani War. Every time. Black Monday hits. Okay. The Dominion of India and Afghanistan are going to go to war. Usually ends up with a victory for India. On the 3rd day of February 1936, the Berlin Stock Exchange stopped sinking. It plunged. Fueled by the instability of the market panic, selling erupted as soon as the stock market opened on Monday morning. It's GME. It took well into the night for the teleprinters to stop sputtering out the results of what became known as Black Monday. When the results had been analyzed, it was clear that the situation had only got worse. The shock of this unprecedented economic catastrophe will, no doubt, be felt over the entire world. The German Golden Age has ended, for now at least. Marx predicted this day. Yes, it did. Electoral gridlock in France. The Commune of France is the world's leading syndicalist nation. United as a federation of city communes and directed by the Committee de Salut Public. I can't speak French, I apologize. The chief executive, ever since its inception, however, the Second Commune was not uniform in its policy. Numerous factions arose, each one with their own idea of which path France should take. As the time for revenge against Germany and the world revolution closes in, the CGT election of 1936 is said to be very important. It was so important, in fact, that none of the four factions could acquire a majority, much like before the election, a coalition must be found. But how will this change the shape of the commune's politics? Only the men in the CSP itself know. Okay. Well, we're at the 30-minute mark, which means it is the end of the episode. With this being the first episode in the series, I want to say a couple of things. First of all, if you watched this video, thank you so much for watching. And if you like this video, please click the like button down below because it helps out a great deal. As I believe I mentioned before, I read all the comments, but I can't respond to all of them. But whenever I have something good to respond, I guess, I do respond. And what else should I say? Yes, of course, there's a lot of relevant information in the description down below, such as I believe there will be a link to the mod. There will be a link to my Twitter where I talk about dumb stuff. There is a link to my Discord, where I also talk about dumb stuff, but I do it with you guys, and instead of just screaming into the ether. And then there's my Twitch, where I live stream, mostly Dwarf Fortress. There's also the Patreon, but stay away from that, because I've struggled to keep track of it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.